Alright, Trekkers and Trekkers, time for the third episode review of the day with Legacy. The Enterprise, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, responds to a distress call for the Federation freighter Arcos, which has suffered engine failure and taken emergency orbit around the colonized planet of Turkana 4, the birthplace of the Enterprise's late Chief of Security, Tasha Yar. The Enterprise arrives just as the Arcos explodes, and finds the trail left behind by the freighter's escape pod leading to the colony. Turkana 4's government collapsed 15 years before, and the last Federation ship to visit, 6 years earlier, was warned by the colony's warring factions that trespassers to the planet would be executed. Because the freighter crew's lives are in danger, Picard decides to attempt a rescue. Commander Riker leads an away team to the surface, where they find the colonists initially unperturbed by their presence, but soon end up in a standoff with one of the colony's two remaining warring factions, the Coalition. Their leader, Hain, reveals that the other faction, the Alliance, holds the Arcos survivors hostage, and offers the Enterprise the Coalition support in exchange for Federation weapons, a proposal that Riker rejects. Hain, however, after learning of Tasha Yar's service aboard the Enterprise, instead offers a liaison with Ishara Yar, claiming she is Tasha's sister. Picard accepts Ishara aboard, although the crew is initially skeptical. DNA tests support her claim, and she gradually gains their trust. Commander Data, who was especially close to Tasha, becomes friends with Ishara, who seems ready to leave behind her life in the colony. To find the hostages, Chief Engineer Jean-Luc Forge suggests using the crashed escape pod's instruments. Ishara recommends that she beams separately to a nearby location as a distraction, because her implanted proximity will set off the Alliance's alarms. The crew executes the plan, but Ishara is wounded in the attempt. Riker rescues her, and is impressed by her bravery. Later, Ishara privately tells Hain, "It's working." When the Enterprise's crew receives a message from the Alliance announcing that they are preparing to kill the Arcos crew, Picard's crew decides to execute Ishara's proposed rescue plan. Dr. Crusher removes Ishara's proximity device, which she gives to Data as a memento. Riker leads an away team to the planet, where they rescue the hostages, but Ishara disappears in the confusion. Data finds her trying to disable the Alliance security grid. Ishara reveals that a large Coalition force is just outside the Alliance perimeter waiting to attack. Data concludes that all her interaction with the crew was a ploy. Riker arrives to distract Ishara just as she fires at Data, who dodges and then stuns her and reverses her attempted sabotage. Riker knows that her phaser was set to kill. With the away team and Ishara back aboard the Enterprise, Hain demands that Picard return Ishara and challenges his jurisdiction. While Riker argues that they have cause to hold her for firing at two Starfleet officers, Picard decides to allow her to leave. As Data escorts her to the transporter room, Ishara claims he was the closest thing she had to a friend. Data considers his relationships with both Ishara and Tasha as the Enterprise departs. Dang. So far, I'll say this is a pretty interesting story, and the appearance of Ishara is kind of cool, and I wish he had shown up in other episodes. But I guess that never happened, unfortunately. So, overall, I give Legacy 3 warp cores out of 5. Well, join me soon for the penultimate episode review with Reunion. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.